Pastor Kit. Good morning. You're tuned to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony. And we wanted to, here comes Pastor Cat. We wanted to give you a little taste of the joys of December. Amen. Let's see, do we have a problem with volume? Hey, Pastor.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. What do you think about little Christmas music?
It's good to have a little Christmas music.
I realized I was like, it's December. And we could actually do all of that. You know,
Yes.
people get started in June.
July. I've heard people say Christmas in July. Yeah.
My best friend in high school, Vanetta Boyd, Christmas was her favorite holiday, and she got started in June. She started playing her Christmas music, making out her Christmas cards, and many times she made Christmas cards. Okay. And she started in the summertime when everybody else was sweating. There she was,
getting ready for Christmas.
So
you got great gifts because she was started so many months ahead, obviously.
Everybody got a card. We went in high school. She didn't have no job. And we were both, wanting to be writers. And she spent her money, believe it or not, on paper. She would buy the big Red Chief tablets that were really elementary school tablets. But, she was a prolific writer. So she wrote, in that. So I know that there are a lot of people out there that, really enjoy Christmas. And so this is a salute to you all. It is December the 5th. And, we want to, say hats off to all you Christmas lovers. And the thing to really remember about today is that it is, drum roll please, Election Day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to join me in the drum roll.
I have things on my desk not well. And I don't want to be like the commercial and my laptop fall off the desk or my coffee falls over. But I was with you in spirit. Good morning, 24/7 Praise Radio. How are you?
Amen. Amen. Good morning, Pastor Payne. We want to welcome 247praiseradio.com to the Let's Talk program this morning. We are so pleased to be a part of the 247praiseradio.com family. And we encourage everyone to go to that 247praiseradio.com and go to your favorite app store and download the app so you can have 24/7 Praise Radio 24/7.
Yes, and I wanted to break in and say that if you are listening to us on 24/7 Praise Radio, you missed at the beginning of the show, Sister Stephanie had a video of a nice crackling fireplace, and we were having a discussion about the fireplace, and she said, "Wait, talk about it when we get on the air.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, I want to say
Yeah,
good
I
morning
forgot.
to Sister Claudia. Thank you for joining in and watching. Hello, hello. And we're talking about at the top of the show, Sister Stephanie had a fireplace, looking all toasty and crackling with the Christmas music playing in the background, making people think about that delicious beverage called apple cider, or either another hot beverage that we all enjoy, coffee.
Yeah.
And of course, 'tis the season to enjoy all of those Christmas beverages. So they just put you in the Christmas mood. And as we were talking before the show, I was telling Sister Stephanie that when I worked in an office, of course now everyone is home officing, but when I was in an office, I used to have I have two monitors, and on my bigger monitor, I had the I had the fireplace on my biggest monitor, and people would come into my office and go like this and like warming my hands up on the monitor. So, and I told her as well, if you all have the YouTube app on your TVs, you can go to the type in fireplace with crackling, or mine was like, I think the one I used to always use was like
10
200.
hours.
Oh no, it was way longer than that. It was like 200 and some hours of just the fireplace, crackling fireplace. So all day. And then eventually I got to the point where I found one that was just strictly 8 hours. So the moment I got to the office, I turned it on. And the moment it went off, I knew, time to go. So yeah, let's all get into the Christmas spirit. And just like Sister Stephanie said, today is election day here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and in other locations as well, but definitely right here in the capital city, as Sister Stephanie says, Baton Rouge. So don't forget to get out and vote.
Amen. Listen, the president, they say, is headed to Georgia. And hi, Sister Claudia. Sister Claudia is in the great state of Georgia, but they say that it's been very confusing, because on the one hand, he is still saying that the election was stolen from him, that Georgia is rigged, etc., etc., etc. And so there are two very, very important seats in the state of Georgia. And if I have this right, the balance of the Senate lies in that election. And so regular Republicans, just regular old Joe Republicans are like regular Republicans.
All right, we're gonna keep moving because I feel like this is headed towards a dangerous place.
No. Regular Republicans are like, y'all, you got to get out and vote, or we gonna lose the Senate.
Okay,
that's what they're saying. And while those others are like, oh, we can't win. But here we are. The president has lost more than 30 of the lawsuits that he has put forward, and the next thing, that he what do you call that when your remedy, what you're pleading to the court? So what he was pleading to the court in some states like Pennsylvania was that they do not certify the election. But of course, Pennsylvania has certified the election.
Yeah.
And, everybody says no matter what he won't have, he just don't have the votes. It ain't,
He's the little engine that could. He thinks he can. He thinks he can. He thinks he can. So,
So, get out and vote, y'all. I'm saying,
there are other important seats.
Here in Baton Rouge, we are electing a mayor in this election. And believe it or not, although I do not ordinarily endorse candidates, I'm helping Don Collins, incumbent school board member, to get out the vote. And so if you got a text from me at the crack of dawn this morning reminding you that it was election day, I love get out the vote. In fact, I love election day. However, I voted early. I went down. I did. I didn't know how we were going to end up with the pandemic situation, and I vote. I'm gonna say this: my regular place that I vote on election day is not the best. They moved us to a place that's not real good. Before the the election before the presidential election, they moved us. And so, I wanted to be on the safe side, and I went on down and did early voting.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're not, a lot of people decided to early vote because, of course, it's Saturday and they don't want to give up their Saturdays, and they didn't want to have the date fall upon them and they forget. So for those that early voted, great. For those that didn't, like me, get out today and go vote. Oh, I rarely early vote. I love to go on election day and vote. I love it. It just makes me feel like I'm doing my civic duty. But
I got all my people crunk for election day. I say all the time, it's like Christmas before they moved us. You saw all the people you don't usually see, and everybody's waving, and believe it or not, do you remember we went down to help New Orleans one time for their mayoral election back in the day?
Yes.
And I've forgotten, it was Ray Nagin and Mitch Landrieu.
That might have been it. It was a while ago. Yeah.
And I thought the cutest thing was we were down from I can't remember who we were for. No, I do, because you and this other guy, y'all had such a relationship going. He was from the opposite side, and he was like hollering, "Yay for Ray!" And I don't know, you were hollering, "Switch to Mitch," or whatever, or just the opposite. I can't even, we had so much fun.
I think it was, I don't know. I think they were like down with Mitch or something like that, switch to Mitch. It was funny. At the end, we had, it was good fun. We high-fived each other. No hate in the end. It was just us both going, like the young people say, hard in the paint.
Oh, I know it was stay with Ray, switch to Mitch, y'all.
Yeah, it was something like that. I can't, but we had a good time. It was good, clean fun. We both were passionate about our candidates, and we were serious about getting out the vote. So today it's important to make sure that if you see any injustice, for example, the polls close early, or they come up with some weird excuse for you not to be able to vote, you contact, I know each state has a number for you to be able to contact and make them aware of anything that's happening that would stop you from being able to do your part and vote.
Amen. Well, we've got some conversations going here. Sister Claudia was talking about one of the things that is so good in December is
hot chocolate. Yeah, I'm not a hot chocolate person, so I always forget about that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, because you were talking about the beverages.
Yeah.
But you didn't say, what's the other one?
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
And I'm not an eggnog person either.
I only sip eggnog during the holidays, and I straight from the carton. I don't put nothing in it. I like it cold. I like it hot. Now, sometimes if I've got some ground cinnamon, I'll, put a little ground cinnamon. This yesterday, I put some cinnamon sticks in my baby crock pot. I have a real little crock pot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did to get the aroma of December, of the holidays around the place.
Guess what I did, Sister Stephanie?
Did you really?
I said, guess what I did?
Oh,
I have received a beautiful gift from Sister Stephanie, because she knows I'm trying to, keep up with my green thumb. She purchased me a peppermint plant, and my husband, Snuggle Bunny, aka Snuggle Bunny, loves peppermint tea. So I know,
not peppermint.
I'm saying he loves peppermint tea.
Okay.
So I told him we were out of peppermint tea, but purchased a mint plant for me. And so I made some mint tea for him. And in my making the mint tea, I decided to make my own potpourri. And so my home smelled like mint, or AKA peppermint. So, another thing that people like Sister Claudia said earlier, and we'll get to some of these comments because look like they're really good. Beverage conversation about hot cocoa. A lot of people take a candy cane and put it in their hot cocoa along with the marshmallows.
Stir it around.
Yeah, to make it peppermint cocoa.
I hear you. Okay, now let's see something. We got brother Threets, Dwan. I say it right? He's saying that he's giving a shout out to you. And he made a comment about when I was saying that my area, they had moved my after years and years and years, they did move my area, and they moved it. That election, when they moved it, it was it was hot, and they moved it to a gym that doesn't have any air conditioning or heat. It's not good. Gym. It's not, there's a school right around the corner from it, but they didn't move it to the school, And so I'm not happy about it. I am not. So he was saying that that's a form of voter suppression. That moving the voting locations to an inconvenient area, or in our case, it's not just, come on, inconvenient. You need a map to get to the place, and there are no signs to tell you where it is. You got to weave and bob to get to this gym that's on a dead end, street. Anyway. I'm not happy. And so now, that joy of, seeing the folks, and they know your name, and they'll sometimes they'll be, they'll tell me something like, your sister-in-law beat you this year. This election, she been in already. Aunt Ethel.
Oh, this was years ago. Okay. I'm like, sister-in-law.
Well, yeah, but and my sister and I voted at the same place. So sometimes we go to vote together, sometimes she would make it in before me, and they also would say the same thing. So maybe I know that Ethel has passed away, but it just seems like yesterday to me. So
yeah. I like his next comment, Sister Stephanie. Go on and get on that one. It was really good.
All right. Well, read it for me. I'm just clicking.
It says they actually released, on the beverage conversation.
Okay.
He said they actually released a study that stated hot chocolate is great for mental health. It stimulates your intellect. Point being, drink more hot cocoa or hot chocolate.
All
Mm-mm.
right. All
Those
right.
that like that hot chocolate, you heard it first here on Let's Talk from one of our faithful listeners saying that hot chocolate will help with your mental health. And
Yeah.
during this time where we all
That could
are,
be a t-shirt. Hold it. That could be a t-shirt. You can tell I'm smart. I drink chocolate. You can make it.
okay, yeah,
Because it increases intellect.
you need some more
You
chocolate.
got it? No, all right. I gotta work on it a little bit.
Sip some chocolate.
But I'm so glad I pronounced his name correctly because I've been known to murder names.
Mm, well, yeah.
Listen, I got something to show you.
Okay.
It's green. Usually people you see them around Thanksgiving. It can be bumpy. And when I say it's green, it's a unique green. Almost
You're smaller, so
okay, let me make myself bigger with this vegetable that is known to many in the state of Louisiana. Sometimes they stuff it like a bell pepper.
mm-hmm.
And it is it doesn't spell like it sounds.
Mm-mm.
All right. It almost looks like if you look at it like that, it might look like a fish mouth. If you look at the bottom of it.
It looks like a mouth. Yeah.
My grandmother used to call these alligator pears. Yes. See, look at it.
Yeah, it's definitely
It has a pear shape.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Da, 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 da. What's it called?
I'm gonna mess it up now because I probably thinking of the wrong thing.
Well, say it.
Melantone.
Melantone. Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of alligator pear.
Well, that's what she used to call them.
Okay.
You know, I think Native American tribes call them coyote pear, coyote. But anyway,
how are you planning to cook it, Sister Stephanie? Is the question.
Well, they're very easy. I just boiled it, and Sister Kelly had a chef's party, Pampered Chef's Party online, and I bought this knife, and it went through that thing like butter. It was very easy to cut it open, and they are very inexpensive. For Thanksgiving, they were selling these for 10 cents. Now it's in you look at here at the local big box store.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they take on something like a mushroom. You know how mushroom take on the flavor of what you put in it? How you mushrooms they suck up the flavors of what you do. That's how melantone is. And I had said I was gonna stuff it, and then I got lazy, and I just boiled it, and I sliced it down the middle. And everybody I remember used to take the seed out that's in the middle, but I ate the seed. I just sliced it up. It was so tender that it was wonderful. And I put it after I sliced it up, I can't remember what I had it with at first, but then I got really creative, and I started putting it with root vegetables. I sliced carrots and something that you might not know, but was very expensive, so I really didn't want to mess it up. It was yellow beets.
Yellow beets.
Yes,
Oh,
because you
okay.
know how when you get ready to cut up beets, it just will stain up everything. Your fingers, the dish towel, everything gets stained up. So I was in one of those big health food stores, not the one that you're thinking about, but the other one, the new one.
Mhm.
And for you, those of you who
Your
don't
favorite.
know, I don't call out the names of folks that are not my sponsor. I try not to. But anyway, um, they, they had these yellow beets, and these beets were so big. How big were they? They were like the size of grapefruit. Some of them they had cut them in two. They
Mm.
were just that big. So my vegetable stew, I use a little chicken broth, and I had the melon top. I shredded some onion. I used the garlic out of the jar, to make the situation kind of fast. Yellow beets and something else I had, but anyway,
Mushroom.
it was
Mushrooms.
I'm gonna I have some leftover. I did this at 3 this morning. So I had it's a long story. I
Mm.
started to text you about something.
No, ma'am. No.
Guess
No.
what I was gonna text you about? Every time I talk to you, I forget to ask. Didn't you promise me stuffed avocado egg?
Yes.
Tell me about that. What happened?
They were ready and you didn't come and pick them up. You decided
You
to
didn't
take
say those words. Your eggs are ready. I would have been with bells on. You're listening to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony, with our co-host, Pastor Kat. That's Pastor Catherine Threets. Listen, we have been coming on the air since 2007. Each Saturday, the program is produced by Louisiana Democracy Project, a nonprofit social justice organization dedicated to the community. We invite you to be a part of our organization because we're open to anyone who wants to work with others to make a difference. I'm looking forward next week to having on the show Miss Geraldine Watkins. Let me just tell you that this is a firebrand lady from St. John Parish. She belongs to an organization called Red Shirts, and they are dedicated to better air in their community. They're a fence line community, and the big chemical company around them is DuPont. Since the pandemic, they have really had a lot to talk about, and she'll be sharing with us on next Saturday. Lord say the same. And so I'm very excited because what you don't know is that she's a super senior citizen. And when the first time I met her, she had a sign, no justice, no peace. She was making so much noise that the EPA people came out to tell us to move. She's dynamite. And I really want to, dig up some pictures of her because she's a little firebrand. She's about 4'11", and I'm a senior citizen, but she's really a senior citizen. I don't know if she tell her age or not. We'll have to find out. But we'll find out more about what's going on in that little community. And this is it's mainly African American community. When it was formed, folk got the word that a big petrochemical company was coming, and they sold their land. And they sold the land to African American people. And so now they populate the surrounding area. And so their ups and downs and roundabouts will be discussed in detail on next Saturday.
All right.
Amen. Listen, I know you got a thing or two to tell us about. We at least need to touch on it. What's going on in the COVID world?
Well, I don't know this morning, but I do know that yesterday in the state of Louisiana, there were over 3,000 new cases of COVID. So people are still not being good neighbors. And when I say people are not being good neighbors, it's just reflecting on what we've talked about in the past few weeks since the pandemic, about social distancing, not going out when you don't need to, try to not congregate in big settings and big groups. We understand and know that we just had a major holiday, Thanksgiving, and it was very difficult for a lot of people to not want to get together with family, but it was strongly suggested here in the state of Louisiana by the governor that we do not have family meetings, even in small settings of 5 or less. You just needed to take advantage of social media, are what we now use Zoom and Skype and Messenger, and just enjoy each other's company through video. There were reports that people were not taking heed to his requests. There were the traveling industry. Of course, it was not as big as it was this time last year, but it still was pretty major. Since the pandemic, there was still an increase in people traveling. They did show the number of people in the airports using Amtrak, using Greyhound. It just seemed like people were serious about going to see their loved ones, not respecting that we are in the middle of a pandemic and it is on the uptick. So COVID-19 is still here. Yes, there have been conversations about the vaccine and it making its arrival to be able to be distributed. But of course, people are not paying attention and noting that even though there is a vaccine that is going to be made available to the public, it's not going to actually be made available to the public per se. The first people that are going to be able to receive the vaccine are the first responders, the frontline workers, and then it'll slowly trickle down. The estimated time for the first group of regular people like you, me, Sister Stephanie, is not estimated to receive the vaccine until October, November of next year. Mm-hmm. And that's a rough guess. Mm-hmm. So you still need to be vigilant. You still need to be aware that this disease has no cure and that people are dying from it. Yes, some people recover, some people don't experience the same symptoms as others, but still remember this. Just because your neighbor got it and recovered and didn't lose a sense of taste or sense of smell doesn't mean that you wouldn't. So it still reflects back to what we've been talking about this whole time since the pandemic, being a good neighbor.
Amen.
Be a good neighbor.
Listen, Pastor Cat, I couldn't have said it any better, and I want to reiterate that people forget that because you have a vaccine, that doesn't mean that it's going to drop off the face of the earth the day that they release the vaccine. Let me tell you, there's a lot to be worked out. First of all, number one, this vaccine has to be kept at a very, very, very high freezing temperature. It's not, it wouldn't be, just like, you could put it in the refrigerator like most vaccines, and so there are going to be very few outlets that actually have the facilities to be able to store it. Number two, we are, I was listening to a report on some folk that were talking about when the vaccine, the medications became available for HIV, that it was about 7 years before it really got to everybody. Because first of all, it got to the people with the most money, that could actually, because it was a cocktail, it was expensive. And this particular vaccine is not just one dose. It's one dose. Then there's a period of time you wait. I think it's 2 weeks. And then the second dose. If you don't have the backup dose, it's like you didn't take the first dose. It's got to be the pair. You know how some, like they say, when coming up to Thanksgiving, that the shelves was clean again.
Yeah, the restrictions. I mean, me and we have only used delivery service for our groceries, and now the restrictions, just like you said, Sister Stephanie, before, right, the week before Thanksgiving, I noticed that they put the restrictions back on for water, for toilet paper, for paper towels, only one. And actually 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, they had an availability of Lysol. And because my shopper, I didn't put it on my list, even though normally it is on my list. And she messaged me and said, "Hey, I see they have some Lysol. Would you like it?" And I was like, "Yes, put it in the basket." And so she put it on the list. And I, thinking of being a good neighbor, I always try to shop for other people when I'm shopping. So the next week, because I do my groceries once a week. So that next week, I saw it was available, Lysol, and I put it on my list. And when my shopper got to the store, she was like, "They don't have any Lysol, they don't have any paper towels, they don't have any toilet paper, they don't have any bleach." All of the essential things that were available weeks before were falling back into that,
Yeah.
So be aware, Sister Stephanie, you are correct. There are a lot of things that they are not truly making known. Just like the best example you made was, dealing with HIV. If you are in the age where you can remember when that pandemic, air quotation, came about, and how long, and still yet, there isn't a cure. There's treatments, but there isn't a cure. And people have to be aware, the COVID-19 that we are dealing with now is not the COVID-19 that we were dealing with at the beginning of this pandemic. So the medication that they are giving out now may not help with the COVID-19 that we are dealing with now. Let me make you clear on that. It's just like the flu. Every year, they say that you should get the flu shot to help fight the flu. But you do know that every year they change the medication in the flu shot, because the flu, as they knew it when it first came about, is not the same flu.
Yeah.
It morphs, it grows, it changes, and they have to come up with different medications to treat the new version of that particular disease. So don't get comfortable. That's what we're saying.
Yes, that's it. And don't think it's going to be over the next day. Listen, Pastor, could you read what Reverend Payne has said Ivory D. Payne.
He sent a link from
Yeah,
USA Today about COVID vaccines, Black America. So he's welcoming us all to click on that link and go read what USA Today has said about vaccines and the Black community, the African American community receiving vaccines and the hierarchy and so forth and so on. I haven't clicked on it, but yes, anybody that is watching or that is on the Facebook page, they can click on the link.
yes. Now, also we want to point out for people that along with you brought out some excellent points about the vaccine. We also want to remind folks, I think they were talking about being pandemic weary or COVID weary. Let me just say that we don't need to be weary, because this is not going to be no quickie. It already hasn't been a quickie. And we want to point out a couple of things. One, it's not a hoax. Everybody knows somebody that has died from COVID-19. Now, there's a whole population of people that are talking about stuff like, oh yeah, well, they just put that on the death certificate, but they might have died of something else. Yes, you can cough and cough and cough and cough and cough from COVID-19 and have a heart attack. But if you hadn't had the COVID, you wouldn't have had the heart attack. Number two, here in Louisiana and around the nation, hospital beds are filling up. They are not, that's the best indicator of stuff. You can, when the hospital beds are filling up, let me tell you, they might not come on the news and say this life and death decisions are being made. They are, unplugging people. They are not considering just they're considering the number of COVID beds that are available and the overall number of hospital beds that are available. And doctors are making life and death decisions. They're like, okay, we only have 2 ventilators and 5 people. Who gonna get the ventilator? They're not going to call your family and say, listen, we don't think your family member really needs that ventilator as much as this young person here that may go to the NFL. So don't be dependent on, oh, if you get sick, they're going to take you in the hospital and get you well. This thing is tough. It has, they've learned a lot. That's true. More people are living because they understand some things that they didn't understand. But your best out is to stay home if you don't have to go out. They're telling us that we have the flu, regular viruses, rhinoviruses and other such. That will exacerbate the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes, this is definitely you're correct. They have been announcing moving into the winter months prior to us being here. They were saying that they would have liked to get the pandemic under control because we were getting ready to enter into the colder months and enter into what they call cold season, which is the list of different types of things that people normally experience in the November, December, and January months, when it's colder, when it's snowing, when it's raining, those type of things. So they wanted to get a better handle on the pandemic prior to us getting into just the regular cold season. So just like we've been saying all along, the best thing for us to do as citizens, as Americans, is to be a good neighbor. We all long and miss our loved ones. It was very, very, very difficult to not be able to see our loved ones this holiday. And it's even more heartbreaking to consider and think about. We're getting ready to go into another holiday and still yet not be able to see our loved ones, touch our loved ones, hug our loved ones. And the best way, which people that have the pulse on this pandemic, meaning they're in the front of it, they're seeing it, they're getting the data that we're not getting, have been saying from day one, the ones that have been being honest have been saying from day one, if we the best way to slow this disease, the best way to help be able to get back to what we would call a new norm, not the normal that we once knew. The new is to slow down, try not to go out unless you desperately need to, try not to get together in these. Yes, these are temporary things if we abide now.
Amen.
But we're now in the state of Louisiana had to go back to an adjusted stage 2 because people refuse to just not go somewhere.
Yep.
You don't have to go to the skating rink. Your children don't have to go bowling.
Yeah.
Stay home, keep your children well. And yes, just like Sister Claudia says, we're not even being a good enough neighbor to consider all of the people that work in healthcare that are exhausted.
Yes. There was one doctor saying that he has not worked a 40-hour week since last December.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that they're getting burned out. And at the same token, there's people out there, getting upset because their favorite bar is not open, or that they can't sit at the bar. They gotta sit outside. It's kind of sad that as Americans that we've come to this point.
I saw that.
Go on.
I saw where there was a bar owner that took the news of them having to close their bar in the most respectful way that I could have ever seen. This bar worker or bar owner, when they got the news that they would have to close because of the numbers, they decided to put a message out on social media and said, hey, here's all this alcohol that we have. We would like to sell it at a lower cost, because they were trying to figure out a way to better come up with how to recoup some of the funds to be able to pay the workers, to be able to pay their bills. And I just thought that was so smart, because instead of trying to figure out how to have an open bar area out in the open or making seating outside, they decided to the smartest thing to do would be to sell all this alcohol that we have that's in bottles, that's in cans. And then we'll contact our alcohol vendors and see if they would be willing to purchase back these kegs that we haven't opened. So I just thought that was such a smart way in being a good neighbor and a good business owner.
All right. Well, listen, I know that people deep in the South, like we are, have been, saying, woo, it is nippy. Here in Baton Rouge this morning, it was 47 degrees with a high today they're expecting of 61. Now, guess what? Tomorrow, here in Baton Rouge, it'll be a high of 58 degrees and a low of 39. It's winter time. Not only should you stay in the house, if at all possible. But the other thing is that you need to put some clothes on. If you got to go take the garbage out, don't figure you're going to run out in your shorts, because this is not the time to get sick. The doctors are having phone, exams. This is not ain't nobody running over with hot chicken soup. This is the time for you to keep healthy. Amen. Now, what is this brother Threets is saying here? Can you read it?
This American privilege has become the bane of humility. Seems like every country has had the sense to discipline themselves except for ours.
All right.
Profound.
I agree. Look, now to me, I guess he's talking about where he's talking about that. Well, where are you, brother Threets?
He was from the great state of Illinois. So, we're Southerners, we're true Southerners. We used to Christmas in shorts. We're not used to having to wrap up in a blanket. Look, we're tugging on the electric blanket and looking for our winter coats when it's a breezy 60. Okay, excuse us.
Listen, I had a cousin from Tampa, and she would come here and say all the time it was cold in Louisiana in the wintertime. She thought we had cold temperatures. Yeah. What else is he saying there? Those are brisk temperatures. I'd be playing basketball.
Yes.
Outside in this weather back in Chicago. Well, amen for you and your brisk loving weather. Let me explain something to you. Put on our turtlenecks. My fireplace is not working, but what I like to do is what I did this morning. Before YouTube, before I knew about a YouTube fireplace, I had a DVD with a fireplace on it.
Oh, goodness. So you're not dreaming of a white Christmas, Sister Stephanie?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Looking at it.
Since we're talking about, health and wealth and getting ready for the cool, in the words of Brother Threets, the cool winters that we say cold, he says cool winters. I was looking up natural ways to boost your immunity.
Okay, you got 2 minutes.
1, sleep like a regular human being. I know that we have been COVID-19. Some people not working, so they want to binge watch until 3 a.m. No. Take your little rusty dusty to bed. Get at minimum 8 hours of sleep. That will help boost your immunity. Number 2, eat more garlic. I know nobody wants to eat garlic. They say that's gonna make their breath funky, but guess what? If you're at home and you're social distancing, then eating garlic shouldn't be a problem. You wearing a mask, only nose you're gonna mess up is your own.
All right.
Garlic. Number 2. Number 3, drink lemon, honey, ginger, turmeric with warm water. This will all boost your immunity. Number 4, make a batch of chicken noodle soup. Now, we're not saying Campbell's. We're saying get in the kitchen and make your own chicken noodle soup. That means boil the chicken, cut it up, put the vegetables in there, the carrot, the parsnips. Some people use sweet potatoes. They mean get in the kitchen and make that wrist do some work. Number 5, work out. Yes, I know I feel like I have cursed at somebody because they like, work out? Is you crazy? Yes, work out. That means take the stairs. Don't take the elevator. Park further from your normal spot if you're going into the office and walk a little bit further. Get some exercising in. If you one of those people, I can't be locked up in this house all this time, don't jump in your car. Put on your nice tennis shoes and walk around the block. You know that dog need exercise. You do too. Number 5, get out and work out. Number 6, indulge in a little tea time. Yes, I know we liked, as young ladies used to watch TV where the ladies would be all dressed up and having a tea party. Yes, indulge in some tea time. My husband likes, I said, peppermint tea. I like green tea. Indulge in some tea time. I'm not saying go to the store and get a bottle of Lipton. I'm saying get a tea bag, boil you some water, and put it in the cup. Make some hot tea. Indulge in some tea time. Number 7, for breakfast, eat yogurt.
Yogurt.
Not eggs and bacon and grits. Yogurt. Your digestive system is asking to be worked out a little bit. Eat some yogurt.
All right.
It'll make you and your stomach happy. Number 8, soak up some sun. Now they like Sister Stephanie, Sister Catherine. You've been saying be a good neighbor. How can I go out and get some sun when you telling me to stay in? Well, you can go in this thing called a backyard. Amen.
Okay.
Look around. You notice there's some limbs in the yard. Get out there, bend over, pick up some of them limbs. That's working out a little bit too. So I'm combining some of these numbers. Get a little bit of sun. Number 8. That's some good vitamin D. All right. And number 9. This is real easy. It don't take a lot because everybody was stressing out. I got to go to the store, get some yogurt, get some tea. I got to go outside. I got to work out. Nope. This one you can do right here looking at me. Number 9, laugh. Laugh a little, laugh a lot, but laugh. They said that there's a study that has found that it will boost your immunity to get a good, ridiculous laugh every now and again. It lowers your stress levels and it allows you to be able to reset. Because if you're laughing, you're thinking about something funny. You're not thinking about bills. You're not thinking about not having a job. You're not thinking about COVID. You're laughing at whatever is funny.
I love that one. That's my favorite one. Listen, I love to laugh. And sometimes on my timeline, I will post something that I think is funny. We want to thank Ivor D. Payne for his little comments talking about he agreed with the brother that he lived in Ohio. And he calls our weather today a heat wave. And he goes for the hot tea.
Great.
Yes, I know our time is well spent. We want to reiterate, go out and vote today.
Vote.
Yes. We don't want you to miss out on participating in our participatory form of government. We want to thank Sister Claudia. She, my coffee pot, speaking of hot beverages, my coffee pot broke. And she is sending me I'm rushing to get over to the post office to get the coffee pot that she is sending me. And we want to, give a shout out to her also because she had wisdom teeth taken out. And for all of you that have had wisdom teeth removed, you know that is no walk in the park. We encourage you, of course, to listen to the melodious sounds of www.247praiseradio.com. And we encourage you to participate in our missions, including the Pakistan mission. We'll be getting together to send them a donation so that they can do their Christmas party where all the kids get socks and a hat. And they be thrilled. Socks and a hat.
I'm pretty sure it's cold over there, especially when having church on the roof. Amen.
Yes. And of course, you know that we're trying to help them to get together so that they can buy the land to build a sanctuary. So remember, you can donate by Cash App, $S Anthony Missions with a S. And all donations are greatly appreciated, small or large. We invite you to like, share, and comment for Let's Talk. And I'm going to let the closing remarks come from Pastor Cat, and then I'll salute you on out of here.
Hey, well, I'm just going to invite you to take the words of Mr. Roger, be a good neighbor. During this time, everybody is stressed, and be aware of that. You don't have to push your feelings and your views of things on people. We can use the old school method of if you don't have anything good to say, don't say nothing at all. It's not going to kill you to have to be a part of every conversation. Just shh, quiet. It's okay. Shh, don't say nothing. Shh, don't say nothing. But anyway, on that note, we love you and we appreciate you taking time to watch and listen today. Thank you so much, 24/7 Praise Radio. We appreciate being a part of your platform. And of course, we appreciate every listener that chimed in today and was actively a part of the conversation. We thank you so much for that part of the participation, or you being a part of the conversation. And Sister Stephanie, I appreciate being with you and joining in on the conversation. I miss being able to hug you, touch you, and love on you. But I know that if I continue to be a good neighbor, this time won't be long. I miss seeing my brother over there, Brother Threets. I miss seeing my Sister Claudia. But I do know this is only temporary, because if anything, I know that me and my house, we're doing our part. So I encourage you to do your part so that we can all get together very soon.
Amen. Be blessed and make all your conversations useful. Till next time. Bye-bye.